Hello, everybody. If it's Wednesday, it's Warhammer, and that must mean it's time for another episode of Warhammer Weekly. Joining me on the show this week to talk for our 10th annual Why Enhancements Are Bad and How We Fix Them episode, it's SJ Arcade. SJ, how you doing, brother?
Fantastic.
It's good to have you here. I see you've got, is that Nekasar the Mind Razor I see watching over us?
Man, look at the eyes on this guy. Those glasses work. Yeah, absolutely.
My superpower is being able to recognize the vast majority of Magic cards that have ever been printed and usually guess what my opponent's about to play just based on the mana they're tapping and the point of the game we're in. So there you go.
Yep.
But I'm very happy to be with you today. It's good to have you here. We're going to talk all about why enhancements are still bad. And what's funny about this show when we do, I say it's like I make the joke of the 10th annual, but every year they're different or they're bad in a slightly different way. And that's what I love about it. We keep trying, but we're just not there. We keep rotating around the problem. Like we're on a merry-go-round. We're in a different place, but we're never getting to the center.
And now it feels like they're trying to just work away from, hey, here's 3.
Right.
That's enough. Let's not get too exciting. Maybe one day people will forget enhancements even happened. It'll just be War Scrolls.
Just War Scrolls. Yes, exactly. See a lot of people in the chat. How you doing, everybody? Good to see y'all. I see Strength Hammers here. What's up, Chuck? How you doing? Chuck, I have a feeling we're going to say some things that you're going to be well aligned with, especially because SJ and I were talking beforehand, and there's a couple old world mentions that are going to get dropped in here, of course. That's right.
Some extended reading material.
Yes, as well as some extended old Hammer. Well, I guess technically Middle Hammer reading reviews.
Middle Hammer.
Yes. All right. But first off, of course, we've got to begin with the news, as we always do. That's what we do here. We do the news first. And not a lot of it. The Hellsmith stuff is they rolled out a bunch of articles for that. Fine. Great. We'll talk about the Chaos Dwarves next week. So don't worry. It's coming. Next week is Chaos Dwarves. But obviously, I mean, it's a lot to do. We gotta go through everything. We gotta actually have an opinion. We gotta have points that are official. You know, like I want to do a real show. This is the new army, right?
Oh,
we get like one of these per edition. This isn't just like the 7th Ironjawz book or something, which you know is going to be bad.
We get one of these new factions every about 6 months. It seems like.
Not often enough for my money. I say more. I say flood them in. More.
Silent people.
Absolutely.
Valerian. Like bring them all in. Vampirates. Let's get back on the Vampirates train.
Every sculptor who is currently not working on either a new army or the refresh of ogres, stop. Clear that project off the plate. New army is what you're doing right now. Let's go. Okay. All right. So at any rate, let's talk some news. First off, we've got a rumor engine. Do you like iPads? Do you wish you had iPads in your 40K game? Well, now you can have a guy who's got 3 iPads. He's got all the screens.
The ultimate Zoomer.
Yes.
3 iPads.
Yeah. One of them's even cracked, which I find very on brand for the children. I see people with a cracked phone, and I'm like, you got to take better care of your phone. Or do something. Get a new phone. I can't abide that. Okay.
Yeah, like, cracked screen for me lasts less than a week.
Yeah, I would like get that fixed or just go buy a burner phone or something. Like do something. I couldn't abide a cracked screen.
Yeah, but hey, this guy's gonna be very entertained on his road trip, and he'll be laughing then.
Absolutely. He's got Wordle on a screen. He's got, you know, like
Fruit Ninja.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got Reddit up over here. He's doing everything you'd want to completely destroy and poison your brain on the internet. He's ready to go. As you can see, he's clearly filling out some sort of survey over here on this one. I love how they painted it as though this lower one, it's like boxes as though he's like checking some kind of survey off, right?
It kind of looks like Twitter on there. It's like little avatars and little lines there.
Yeah, he's on
Blue
40K
Sky guy.
Twitter. Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. Sure, exactly. Anyways, what a bunch of nonsense. As usual, rumor engines hold nothing of interest. But hey, if you're like me and you're pretty sure that Warhammer Age of Sigmar does not have enough foot heroes. And you thought, you know what we really need here? Another foot hero. Well, worry not. We're getting an unusual foot hero. Rare, but admittedly, he is pretty cool. So this is Exalted Hero of Chaos guy, who's like the Warhammer Day mini or whatever.
I mean, he looks pretty nice.
Yeah, he's a pretty cool looking guy. There's like a 40k jump pack dude too, but whatever.
An ultramarine who's looking to his right with a hammer.
Yes, which is different than all the other ones for reasons of slightly where they're looking or what weapon they're armed with.
I mean, I just held it up. If you like this art, you're gonna like this model.
Yeah,
they know their audience.
He's very covered by his cloak. Is the only thing I don't love.
Yeah, but at the same time, he makes him look big. He's a wide fella.
He is a wide fellow. You're not wrong. He's all shoulders. Like, my God, 80% of this guy is shoulder.
Wow, bod.
Yes, indeed. I do appreciate that, like, that Games Workshop's painters are on an endless journey to stop painting swords in just traditional metals, like just steel with a wash, like they did for 30 years. And like, now they're just trying every crazy thing they think of. Like, what if we just had a bunch of black char sort of on the sword and we just did that? What if it was like charred? Yeah, okay, sure. That sounds crazy. Do it. Go for it. You know, just like, I'm here for it. I'm glad they're expanding their horizons.
What's not charred is white steel.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Yeah.
I mean,
it's like kind of a dull aluminum.
Yeah, it looks interesting.
Sure, it absolutely does. Or if you prefer, for our overseas viewers, aluminium. There you go.
Aluminium.
Yes, the far superior pronunciation to be sure.
The Kalaur of aluminium.
But yeah, this guy's cool. So neat. I'm sure like I'll pick one up at some point because they'll have him at like conventions and stuff. So that's probably where I'll just get him. He'll be at like a booth at Adepticon or something, and I'll buckle and buy this giant dude here. I did just this last weekend. I got a good game in this last weekend, only one, but it was a good game against New FEC, which is real strong. And I played the S2D We're All Heroes army, and I ran just like, I think I had so many Chaos Lords, just of varying types. I had 4 regular Chaos Lords, one on Mount, one on, Karkadrak. There's Chaos Lords everywhere. And this guy would stand in well as a Chaos Lord. That's all I'm saying. He's got that. He's got the vibe.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that is a Chaos Lord.
100%. All right. And that's basically our news this week. It's pretty straightforward, pretty simple. So with that, why don't we transition over to some pick of the week? So SJ, what would you like to share with everybody? What's your pick of the week?
Pick of the week. Well, shockingly, my compatriot Haywell has been streaming a lot lately. It just doesn't happen to be Warhammer content. If you're into that Path of Exile 2 content, he's been going nuts. So, as usual, check out my boy. Otherwise, I don't have anything more interesting than that. Hey, Xeogenesis enjoyers, it's about to start shipping. Let's go.
Nice. My recommendation is going to be since we're going to mention Old World sometimes, we don't get to do enough Old World shows. I do want to recommend, hopefully, for the Old World fans in the audience, that they're checking out Square Based, the Warhammer Fantasy podcast, Old World podcast, as it were. And Square Based just did is the Tomb Kings of Khemri Arcane Journal any good? Right? And I love the Tomb Kings. I like their Arcane Journal. I've used it quite a bit. I've had a lot of fun with it. So I would say check it out. I think it's really fun. And of course, Rob is doing a great job as always. So yes, go check out Square Based for you Old World enthusiasts. There you go. So those are the picks of the week. Pretty simple. All right. We can move on here real quick because I want to jump right in to a little hobby time. SJ, what you been working on? Are you gotten any painting in? You putting anything together? What you doing?
I've got a little bit of painting, not particularly recently, but you know, Trench Crusades here finally.
Nice,
So we've been
nice.
painting up some Trench Crusade. The game has been a lot of fun. Uh, Mordheim fans rejoice. It's Mordheim with guns.
It's, I mean, as we said earlier, from the same designer, obviously from Tomas, and who's a great designer. We're gonna have him on Snarlcast sometime pretty soon to interview him. So that'll be a great episode. I look forward to that. Talk to him a bunch at Nova. He's like absolutely one of the nicest people in the universe. Like it's shocking.
Yeah, I stood and talked to him for 30, 40 minutes at Adepticon.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. He's so friendly and warm for somebody who's like made some of the greatest like war games of all time. To have his like to have his sort of just friendly attitude is great. It's great. At any rate, the as I said to you beforehand with Trench Crusade, I'm excited about it. I got my Court of the Sire of the Seven Courts, whatever, Deaths, Chaos guys. Their names are all silly, and I can't keep them straight. I can't keep Warhammer names straight. I can't keep another game's name straight.
I often think of Sire of Seven Deaths too. It's a great card.
Sure, yeah, exactly.
Really great Eldrazi.
That's right. This is the problem, right? To all these like fantasy properties I participate in, all their names are just gonna like bleed into each other. Goblin Twink, no, it is a skirmish game for sure. Like you normally
15 models or less.
Yeah, you're normally like if you're playing a campaign, you start at like 700 points, which equates to like depends on the faction, but it's usually like 10 to 12 models kind of in that space usually. If you play a one-off game, it's 900, so you maybe have like a little more. But
don't be a coward, play campaign.
Yeah, always play campaigns. I mean, never. What's even the point of doing a one-off game? I've never understood that crap. Like, even if you only ever get one game in, you play it as though this is the beginning, right here. This is the one.
Yes, we'll just start over every time.
Yes.
Yeah. You listen in Haywell, stop playing one-off games. Campaign.
Absolutely. And for my hobby time, so I've got them teed up. I'm putting together my list. Okay. And but before, because I wasn't sure what I wanted, I started on another project. So I started on this is Thalira. It's this. I don't know. Like how would you pronounce that, SJ? What would you say the name of that is?
Let me get my readers on here.
Yeah, indeed. Thaleera. Thalira?
See, we're in a fantasy setting, so I might say Talira.
Oh, okay.
Like it's a tall.
That's a good call. At any rate, Arcane Guardian. It's a bust. And it's from Inu Kingdoms. And but I'd, of course, she's going to be green for me. So that's where she's at so far. Because I wanted to do her in like kind of a wood elfy, again, speaking of kind of old world references. Like I looked at a bunch of like wood elf type of art and Sylvaneth art and stuff like that. And I really liked the ones where they portray the sort of wild elves with like more green, nature-y skin.
It's almost like the forest is growing out of them.
Yeah.
Or they emerge from the trees or something. Yeah.
Exactly. So I wanted to do that kind of thing. So all I've been working on is her skin so far. There'll be a video for that, but I really like how that came out. So that's what I've been working on. Colby Atkinson with a super chat saying, "Is it bad that I just want to take that sword and kit bash?" No, Colby, it's not at all. Not at all. Jim Crimmin says, "I like new giant shoulders, man." Absolutely. I see CJ also says, "Is that Nekastar the Mind Razor?" CJ, you missed it. You were late. Yes, I have called out. That is, in fact, Mr. Mind Razor himself. Yes. The last thing I want to shout out here before we leave this section behind is just a couple of quick mentions. I should have put this in the pick of the week, but I wanted to call it out separately here just as we transition into main topic, which is Sam Pearson, who really helped, sort of really was the designer of Spearhead, frankly. He left Games Workshop. Really? Yep. And he now has a YouTube channel, which I will link down below. He had a new video where he talks about designing Spearhead, and it's pretty cool. I absolutely want to reach out to him. Sam, if you happen to watch this, we want you on the show. So check that out. I will link it down below. I should have put it in beforehand, but I didn't because I'm a bad person. But I will. I will put it down there. So check it out afterward. Sam is awesome, and he really is like a great game designer as well. So he's very much someone that I want to talk to and get his insights. I've been a fan of a lot of he's designed a lot of things we like, is what I would say. So yeah,
everyone come back in 2 days and check the description. If it's not there, leave a comment.
You better blow me up in them comments. That's right. That's right.
And hey, Sam, thank you for making Corn awesome in Spearhead. Appreciate it. Somebody had to do it.
They've got to be awesome somewhere, right?
Somewhere, please.
It's just statistically, it's got to happen. Toby said, "Are there any other head options?" But I assume you mean for the model.
Yes.
I don't know. They didn't. I don't think they had any other.
They showed a headless option, and it's like a helmetless option. I should say.
Okay. So
and he has a option. He's got like the chaos circle scarred onto his face. It's interesting. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yep. Cool. Very nice. Haiti said GW has such a weird turnover rate. Why do people leave so often so soon? I think Chris H probably has the right answer.
Yeah.
Who said that's I believe their pay scale is not fantastic. Let me just say that.
And it's been no better time to be an indie developer, YouTuber. 25 years ago, when it was just Warhammer and no one else, a little scarier to jump out.
Yeah.
Now, if you're the guy who made Spearhead, people will look forward to your Kickstarter game.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, it becomes like it used to be. You did try to do other things to become, to like build your resume to go work at GW. Now GW is just the resume item to be independent, ironically. But hey, whatever. That's fine. They don't keep pace with the market. That they don't get good talent. That's how the world works. Last thing I'll mention is there is a new episode out of Fireball the Gazebo, my RPG podcast with Ninjon. That is linked down below. And so check that out. This week, we're getting back into it. 2 weeks ago, we talked all about pets, okay, and why pets rule. SJ, I don't know if you're a fan of pets in your RPGs, but I love dogs, cats, skeletons, undead, elementals, anything.
More flavor is good.
Yeah, I want things following me around. This week, we're talking all about Session Zero, like the value of it, why you want to get together, talk about the game, talk about your characters, collaboratively create the game. So, yeah, go check that out. All right. With all of that said, let's move on to today's main topic. Fixing enhancements in Warhammer Age of Sigmar. So let's talk about fixing these enhancements. Because
enhancements, what are they?
Indeed. Enhance
anything, please.
Yes. Okay. I made the joke multiple times now that we've done this show a lot. And look, the reality is we have. And that's because, as I said, it's not that they've been universally bad in the same way. They keep being bad in new and different ways. So,
yeah.
So that's worth talking about. Okay. Yes. Why are enhancements? That's right. Yes. I'll do you one better. How is enhancements?
Yeah. And literally, you've done this show every year. I've done this show on other shows.
Mm-hmm.
Enhancements, for some reason, once the old world fell out, I guess they fired everyone who knows how to write artifacts because they haven't been good since. And when they're good, they're way too good. They're the Sword of Japan and Amulet of Destiny and stuff that just breaks.
Yep.
There's no in between.
Let's start with a summary. Okay, this is I'm curious. I'm sure we can talk on this slide a little while, SJ. So, first of all, I think enhancements have become the most depressing part of the list building process. I'm just going to start with that statement.
Absolutely. Like, it feels like, especially with my corn book, do I have to write one down?
Right.
Do I bother?
I have taken armies that are just special characters, like as the only heroes, and as a result, gotten no heroic traits or artifacts, and been like, yeah, okay,
Yeah, this is fun.
this is fine. I don't miss this.
No,
Right?
I don't miss my +3 or my 5-up ward against spells.
Yeah.
That wasn't happening anyway.
Right. And look, I'll say this isn't completely true. Like, I'm sure somebody's going to come forward and say, like, well, but this thing is really cool, or this one option I have over here is really cool. And yes, I agree. There are some actual good examples. Okay. There are books that have some number that are actually decent. Like, I think Skaven is kind of a standout here because in both categories, there's like 2 out of 3 that are worth taking, which is pretty good. A 66% hit rate is like incredible. That is because, okay. SJ, are you a baseball fan at all?
A giant one.
Okay. So if your batting average was 66, it was 667, whatever, right? Okay. Right. You're like the greatest Hall of Fame hitter of all time. Like that just does not
you are
exist.
Barry Bonds. You are Barry Bonds on steroids.
Correct.
Not just Barry Bonds. You are extra Barry Bonds.
That's right. So like, the reality is that in the world of Warhammer books, we pretty much play by Major League Baseball rules, right? Where a good average is like, if you can get to like a 330, you're good.
Yeah.
If you hit that like 33%, that's actually amazing. You're probably
if you hit 3 out of 10 balls, you're going to the Hall of Fame, baby.
Exactly. You're like a Hall of Fame player. Like at minimum, you're at least seen as like a reliable hitter, right?
Absolutely.
Like even if you're not cranking.
Especially nowadays when batting average doesn't matter. Do not start me on baseball.
Sure. I'm glad we've discovered this rich vein. But anyways, GW is the same way. They're like, man, if we hit 33%, we're
surely
doing it.
One of these 3 artifacts will be cool, right?
Right.
No, everything's under the Mendoza line.
So, but I know there's good ones, and we're going to talk about the good ones because I think they're instructive.
Yes.
Like why they're good, I think is actually meaningful. But for the vast majority of armies, read that as like at least 20, which is really saying something. You either take the one that's default, right? Because it's just like, well, this is the only one that actually does anything of value. Or you just don't care. You're just like, whatever, fine. Right? Like, fine.
There's I believe it was the end of last edition. I just remember the Nurgle book coming out, and it was like a bunch of random whatevers, and then 4 ward.
Right.
Okay, well, what do you expect me to take?
Right. Now, obviously, also at the beginning of this edition, we went to the sort of 3 item, 3 heroic trait model. Where there's like, because we just decided 6 was too hard. Can't write those. Maybe if we go down to 3, we can make 3 good ones. Nope. Immediately wrong.
Is this where I reveal my research I've done for this show?
Yes. Go for your research. I love this. Yes.
Okay. So if you look at your new corn book, you have 3 traits and 3 artifacts. It literally fits on 1 page. Wow.
That's right. Now, to be fair, because somebody's going to call us out for this. Okay. And so it's worth mentioning.
I'm ready.
You gotta like immediately stop the actually, guys. Okay.
Actually, glasses are being pushed up.
Your example with Khorne will work fine, but for a lot of other armies, yes, I am aware that Scourge of Ghyran did introduce either 3 heroic traits or 3 artifacts for many armies. Now, not for Khorne.
Sure, not for Khorne.
Not for Khorne. So, continue.
But hey, having 6 more options, pretty neat. If we look across the street.
Yes.
At Bretonnia, this is a current book, even though the old Bretonnia book was the current book. Between this and I did cheat a little bit. Between this and the Forces of Order, which you play concurrently, they just add up together. There are 14 traits and 18 artifacts.
Yeah. Okay. It's not bad.
Go back to 2008.
Yeah.
This book has 16 traits and 46 artifacts.
46.
Not counting the common magic ones you could take.
Just that book.
This 46. Is unique. 46 unique artifacts. And this book didn't cost $55.
Yeah, well, that's definitely true. Just some dude with a super chat saying, "Hey Vince, I know you aren't a big fan of dwarves. Well, I might be a big fan of the new dwarves. I'm not sure. We'll talk about it next week. I find myself at a crossroads with these new Hellsmiths, by the way, SJ. But at any rate, is there anything from the Leagues of Votan 40k dwarves range you'd be interested in painting? Personal favorite is the guy wearing the dead bug. I don't like dead bug guy, but I respect you liking dead bug guy. That's fine.
The dead bug guy's pretty neat.
Yeah, I don't like any of the people who wear Tyranid stuff. I find that weird. Like,
I find it offensive against Tyranid.
No, not at all. I don't care if you're. I don't care about what they do with bugs. Like, no, I find it weird when you live. Okay, you live in a world that has like unobtainium, effectively. You know,
right?
Like super high tech armor. Why are you strapping a dead bug to yourself? If the dead bug is that much is more effective than the armor you manufacture in mass, then go on a bug killing spree and start raising bugs and harvesting.
Tyranids are more effective than most weapon systems. To be fair,
the idea that like, oh, I've got this modern armor, but instead I'm going to put a bug on myself. Anyways, this is not what we're saying. The answer, just some dude, to your question is I love all their vehicles. Because I think
I love the Winnebago.
Just really well designed. Like the big giant, like kind of ATV thing. Again, I don't remember any of their names. The little trikes, I like all of those. I think they're all really sweet. So yeah, I would. I mean, I have. Where's she at? Here she is. I have one of the little Leagues persons right here, and I'll use her in a video. I've used her before in a video. I'll probably use her again eventually. But yeah, I like the little.
The only dwarfs I got.
There you go. Hades says Vince doesn't understand the drip and aura farming. No, I do not. I do not understand this.
And I don't care to. Thank you.
I am an old man, Hades. I'm aware of what these terms mean. But you have to understand how I look right now and how I am dressed at this current moment is basically the way I have dressed for my entire life. Like, this is simply it. This is how I looked forever. I found something and I was like, this is it. I see no reason to change. You can find very old pictures of me. I will be wearing the same shirts. Okay. So that's just what it is. So drip is not my thing. At any rate. Okay. Back to the enhancements. Like, the other thing that's worth talking about, or another thing worth talking about, I should say, in this edition, especially this current literal edition, this GHB, this season, however you want to say it, okay, is I came out in an apron, Kuhal, is now we have the popular ones costing points.
Yeah. That's a slippery slope.
Yes. It's like, Nolan the Roke, in case you didn't see it, and I know you did talk about it, but Cubicle 7 is finally releasing Champions of Chaos. Oh, I did see. And I am very excited. I love Soulbound. I think it's a really good RPG. And I've been waiting on Champions of Chaos for a while. I have all the other Champions books. So I'm excited to see it. Anyways.
Why did we, it'd be like when manifestations were still free, if like the good one cost points.
Well, I mean, now that's basically where we are, right? Like, they're all, you can still take free ones, all your army ones and stuff like that. And I'm not sure I mind as much with the manifestations because, like, it seems okay to me that they have a little more range. Like, 0 is a points value. Okay.
Yes. Free is a cost. Yeah.
Right. So, like, with the manifestations and what they are, they're effectively adding extra models onto the table in some way, right? If you want to say, manifestation lores, we're going to design them so that intentionally they run the gamut from 0 to 60 points or something like that. Okay. If like that was the stated design principle, I think that's reasonable to do because they're a universal thing that can be taken by literal everybody.
Sure.
Right. And so like whenever you're dealing with something that can be taken by every army, I'm okay with it, that sort of unusual thing, because you could have one that is just like quite often powerful. And like, yeah, sure, if you want to take it, it really does cost points. At like effectively half a unit worth of points.
Mhm.
Okay. That seems fair. But with your artifacts and your heroic traits, that's just them looking at pick rates of what's selected because it's the only good one, and then punishing you for having a list that doesn't end at 1980 instead of
Yeah,
2000.
they've made game changers basically.
Right.
Well, you can
Yes.
still take these cards, but not like a lot of them. Okay,
Right.
let's not get crazy.
Yes. Uh like my problem with it is there's usually like one good option in the list, and they just make that one cost points now. And I'm like, what? No, wrong direction, right?
Yes.
Either they all cost 0 because they're not like an extra thing. That's effectively part of your army, right?
hmm
It's not universally selected. I can't go like, well, hold on, let me buy this. There is no common magic item list, like you mentioned
No,
earlier for that, right?
except for the
And
GHB. We don't want to get actually again, right?
sure.
Kind of.
Kind of, or like, but my point is that you don't have the Sword of Striking or Dispel Scroll or stuff like that, right? They would just
Spell
be,
scroll. Oh, I love when you speak to me like that.
yes, wizard hat. Um,
Magic carpet.
yeah, absolutely. Yes. Um, so like I don't have a, like, in theory, especially for like broad-based stuff that runs across the game, I don't have an issue with like, well, this thing costs points, and that's meant to be widely representative of what it can bring to the army. That's fine. But when it's your army stuff and it's a choice universe of 3,
3.
okay.
And 2 of them are probably dog water.
Yes. 2 of them are just hot Chinatown garbage on a summer afternoon, right? Like making the other one cost points is just a kick in the teeth. How many times have you like built your army, got to 2,000 points, and then be like, oh, God bless it. Okay, hold on. This thing I want to take costs 20 points. Well, I guess I'll just
Yeah.
take this crappy one, right? It's fine. What a great feeling. What a
And
great
when
feeling
stuff
that is.
costs 15, 20 points weapons wise, that's where buying each model one at a time is great, because I'll just take one less miner that cost
Sure.
me 7 points and now it fits.
Right.
But that's like a whole unit. How do I
Yep.
unmath a whole unit?
Right. Exactly. We just don't have the, like, what do I want to say? Like the fidelity, the precision of
The
point
incremental
selecting. Yeah.
point selection, yeah.
To get at this, right?
So we
Uh,
shouldn't add it.
yeah. So we shouldn't have it. Like,
We
just
shouldn't just shove it in there.
here's a solution. You want to stop people from taking like the one thing, like Radiance of Dark Glory all the time, or the Pendant of Slanesh. Well, gee, like the pendant, the Slanesh one is like one of the most insulting. Okay. The Pendant of Slanesh, or whatever it's called, I get this name, is one of the 3 artifacts for the Slanesh book. And what it does is, at the end of every turn, you heal D3. Okay. Or 3. I don't remember. But the point is you heal. It's a standard end of any turn heal. It's a good item, especially for your very, 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 very fragile keeper of secrets. Okay.
Right.
Who is still nowhere near worth her points. People need to stop winning with Slanesh by having an arbitrary keeper of secrets in their list and then like a bunch of shooting things, because you people are ruining the keeper of secrets for me. Like, the keeper of secrets is not contributing to your victory, but it's making it so the win rate on that unit stays too high for points to get adjusted down. Stop it. Put anything else in your list. At any rate. My point is that's so people take that one. Okay. It's okay.
Mhm.
It's not amazing. Healing
It
like
is
some
so
small amount of wounds.
acceptable. The maximum mid of an artifact. Yeah.
Yes. But it costs points. It costs 20 points now. Why? Because it was the only thing everybody took. Why did everybody take that? Because the other 2 are once a game items that are bad.
Once a game, man. Once again, like I know Halo said it 1,000 times, but once a game needs to be a crazy effect.
Yes, and we're gonna go in on that hard later on. I got a lot on that. Okay. So like, I just hate the I hate the like the entire they now cost points. I'm completely against it.
Yeah.
It is acid in my mouth. It's horrible.
Well, like what you said with this, where it's almost like I'm gonna some big language here. The good one
Mm-hmm.
cost points here, and the other two are horrific. Once again, it almost feels like it's like some kind of premium
Yeah.
currency of like, oh, hey kid, do you want to skip this? You want some healing? Watch this ad to
Yeah,
get
exactly.
a
Yeah,
healing
yeah.
thing. Like,
Like I'm on Hulu
why
and
does
they're
that
like, want
cost
to get
points?
rid of
Oh,
the
but the free ones
commercials?
are horrific.
Yes. Stop making me pay like the Hulu premium or whatever. You're watching something on Prime and it's like, want to get rid of ads? I'm like, stop it. Okay. That's what this is. Yes, exactly. Thank you. The professor says, and yet lizards have the same heal thing for free. Yeah, there you go.
There's so much of that going around. There's
Right.
so much of like, oh, this is the best in this book, and it costs points, and then this other army just does it like army wide.
Yeah.
Sure, okay.
Right. And like it's also just like as a minor nit here, okay? From a game design perspective, it's really bad design to have those things cost points occasionally in the way they do. The reason I say that is because the way you build in Warhammer, quite obviously, right, is you start by picking your army. Like just go through the list builder in your head, right? You pick your
Right.
army, you then set like your formation probably or whatever, like your battle. What are you, right? Your battle formation. Then you pick heroes, right? And then you fill out the regiments under those heroes, okay? And then you pick magic items. It's like generally the workflow, right?
Get out of my head. Yeah, totally.
Okay. And so the problem is you can say stuff like Kaz, where Kaz said, oh, and Stormcast get 1980 points and are also the ones per game in the army, right? Like you can say, we can all make the statement, oh, that army just has 1980 points now because they always need to pay to take this thing. Okay. But the problem is that's not how it actually works when most people are designing their lists, right? They design their list up, they get to whatever points they get to, and then they go and click the magic items or whatever to add them in.
Absolutely.
And then they find out, oops, I can't take my magic items anymore. And now I got to go back and tinker. Like, okay, I won't take that unit. I'll delete that unit and try to add some crappier unit that gives me 20 points here or 40 points here or something, right? Or like, okay, I'll unreinforce, then I'll take this extra cheaper unit of this, and that gives me, you know what I mean? That's bad workflow.
Yeah, now your army is less the army you want to play and probably less fun.
Right, exactly. And so just like, and it's because it's a surprise. If they always cost points, like in the old world, when I make a list, I assume I'm going to spend points on magic items for people.
Yes.
It is just the assumed workflow, right? Whereas this is the exception.
And the excellent design of fantasy and old world where they say, okay, hey, your mid-range heroes can only take this much stuff.
Right.
And your big boys can take even more stuff. So like they can take and they point accordingly. Hey, these guys can only take 50 points for the magic items. The cool kill everything sword is 65 points. So there's no chance he's ever going to touch it because he's not cool enough. Get the dude who costs more and you could buy him the big giant sword. I've always liked that design.
Yeah, no, I get it. I mean, speaking of just to make the old world comparison here again, I do love also when they go wild with this ability as like a special ability. Bretonnia is a good example of this, right? Where like the Grail Knights and a bunch of other people can like take magic items of various types. Like, you know, your unit champions, like everybody and their brother in Bretonnia can be carrying some cheap magic item. They get like, everybody gets 25 points for magic items. It's just going around.
Bretonnia is the army of heroes.
Yes.
That's what it is.
Fonzie with the super chat saying, I love the free 2d3 heal on my zombie dragon. Yeah, just really dig it in there, Fonzie. No, I get it. Absolutely. Okay. So, we still lack the additional bonus items, by the way. Like, although we got some from Soggy, that was good. I was happy to see what we got in Soggy, but it wasn't enough. And by bonus stuff, I mean like monster traits. You know what I'm saying? To me, these are actually one of the most impactful things. It's not the standard heroic trait and artifacts we all get, but I think these are really important for actually like setting an army apart and giving them a cool feel.
Why weren't monster traits in the books?
Right. Like monster traits, the banners from S2D, right? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of versions of this you could imagine existing, right? And like, what if the Gits book had like an extra section called like tasty shrooms? Okay. And you got to give them to some units. Like one unit got their tasty shrooms, like who's bringing what kind of tasty shrooms. And then you get to unit of like, it has to be goblins because only the goblins can eat them. Okay. Or something like that.
Keyword grot or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Sure. Something like that. Right. And you can give them, you can hop them up on some different magic mushrooms before the game begins. That sounds amazing. Right. Like I could think of these all day. Right. And sure, for a lot of armies that want to have monster mash as an option, it's just monster traits. Easy. Okay. Great. For a lot of other people, it could be other things, like whatever.
And make a lot of them. So we
yes.
could have unique, interesting armies. And
Right.
not, oh, I'm running the Slaves to Darkness, this list, and that your opponent already knows what that list is.
Yep.
That's
exactly.
boring.
Yeah. All right. And then the last thing that I want to hit on here in the summary, I knew this was going to be a lot of discussion, and that's good. I'm curious, SJ, for your feeling on this one and how we solve it. We have a lack of any way to meaningfully take additional enhancements at some sort of cost, right? How much of a problem is this for you?
Well, they fixed the problem the reverse way by making all the enhancements terrible. So I have no reason to take more of them. But if we were in a world where there were 3 or 4 options that were cool, like they did last edition, where you might have 2 or 3 in a book, that might be interesting. You could take that different kind of regiment that would give you an extra enhancement. And I often did because I like fun things. I like interesting enhancements. I've never been a one-drop kind of player.
Let me ask you a question. Let's just spitball some rules here. By the way, Archer says special poisons for the cruel boys. Love that. That'd be
special poisons.
That's a great idea.
Absolutely.
Our boy CJ Ubusta says, I wish I could give vampires from special bloodline choices.
Oh,
yes.
Don't talk about bloodlines. Oh, you're gonna make me go back.
Yep.
To the good times.
Yep. Absolutely. Which bloodline you taking? Absolutely. 100%. Yeah. Okay. Let me throw some stuff at you, okay? The easy answer would be you could take an additional one, but it costs points of some kind.
Yeah.
Now, I've already talked about
50 points for an enhancement, whatever. Blah.
Sure. I've already talked about why I don't like that given the workflow, okay? All right. So let me throw some other options at you of what we could do, okay? Okay. You can take a bonus magic item, but it uses up or enhancement. I shouldn't say just magic item. You can take a bonus enhancement. Yes. But it uses up one of your regiments. Burns off a regiment. So like now if you go more than 4, you're into auxiliaries. Okay? That's pretty minor cost. Right? That one's but it's interesting, especially in the modern world with drops and the reroll and stuff. That could be one.
Yeah, it's free. You could work around that. Again, is there anything you'd want to, instead of taking a unit, take that?
Right.
Big question.
Just like you lose a regiment choice, right? So now you're 4 regiments max. Maybe you can take 2 extra and now you're 3 regiments max or something. I don't know. Okay. There's an option. Let me throw another option at you. Let's call that one the soft option. Now we'll go for the hard option.
The easy way and the hard way.
That's right. Yes. Okay. You can take an additional enhancement or multiple, but every one you take reduces your command points you get at the top of the battle round by 1.
Ooh. And I don't hate it.
Okay.
Because again, I feel like command points have also taken a little bit of a dip of interesting use versus last edition anyway. So I often find myself with an extra one. I could burn one for an enhancement I liked, I think.
Okay. Yeah, so if you had, again, all these assume there are things worth taking, which we just talked about maybe challenging, but if we could get there.
In a universe where there are 3 good options.
Mm-hmm.
How do we get it to where we could take another one?
Right.
Because again, that just makes everything a little more flavorful.
Yes. Imagine, like, I understand I'm taking us all on a flight of fancy here, chat.
The
I know.
fantasy podcast.
Right. But part of this is about, like, how would you structure this if it was like, because at the same time, if they were all good, then we would also still be sad that we couldn't take more of them, right? So it would only fix part of the problem if they actually made 3 good ones. It'd be a big part of the problem fixed, but still only part of it. Okay. So that's what I think of as like the hard and soft option, right? Um I can think of another one. Here's my third one, okay? My my third one is like, you can take another one, but this is probably too complicated, but you have to like re-roll priority during the first round and take the lower result.
Oh, you roll with disadvantage?
You roll at disadvantage, yes.
I mean, that's good too.
To see who has the like sort of drops or whatever, right? To who gets to place first, as it were. The problem with that one is that would only matter in the times where you're equal drops, obviously. Right. So UT Rage said, what about unit enhancements, but you can't reinforce that unit? Yeah, like that's
like one of the enhancements is you can add reinforcements, and then the other one would be a D3 move or something.
Yeah,
on top of it.
I'm not opposed to that kind of thing. Like I think that one of the ways they should often when they do these kinds of things is I think they should play around with like turning off reinforcements more aggressively under certain circumstances. I
didn't realize we were assuming just make them good at half, and
yeah.
That's the only way you can have this conversation is to pretend there are good ones.
Right. I understand, Cause. Like I said, I understand we're on it. We're very much in like the never-ending story land of imagination here. We're up there with Bastion in the attic reading a book. Okay. We got to get the Luck Dragon out. We're so fantastical here, but trust me. But yeah, I'm saying like, I think there are lots of ways you could play. My point is, you can like the options that I threw out or not. But my point is, there are certainly non-points based ways that we could get at taking additional enhancements, just using the existing mechanics that are there. Right. So maybe do that. I don't know.
Yeah. You have to, at some point in the 10 years we've been doing Age of Sigmar now, right?
Right.
We have to try with enhancements or cut them. You're so close to cutting them anyway. Either cut them or try. There is no whatever this is.
Whatever this is, we're making nobody happy here, right?
I get to that page and it's just like, well, that was 3 nothings. Somebody got paid to write this.
Yeah, exactly. Like we've simplified down and simplified down. Like we cut all the options down, we cut all the fun universals out, we cut all this stuff out so that the game could be more easy to pick up for new players. And my answer is like, do we need to be doing that so much now? We did that in the same edition where we introduced Spearhead. Spearhead is how you introduce the game to new
Spearhead
players.
is the best demo game GW has ever made,
right?
Bar none. That's perfect. Let Age of Sigmar be more complicated.
Right.
Just a little bit more complicated. We're not even asking for the moon here. I'm not asking for buy every single model, buy every single shield for every single model. I'm not asking for that. Just a little more complicated. It's okay. We can handle it. Most of us are grown men. We can handle just like a little bit more complication.
Because the problem is they've brought the ceiling down so far, right? That there's just no choice anymore. That's what I'm saying. Like the list building process we've talked about before has become pretty whatever. And certainly this part of it is the worst part of it. Like when I get to the enhancement part, I'm just like, who cares? Whatever. It's that one and that one. Okay. And we could go so much farther.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think what frustrates us is like, we could say, oh, well, back in the day they could do. They're doing it right now.
Yeah, exactly. It's not even a back in the day
right
thing.
now.
Now, look, I know that office is on the other side of the building. Okay.
Yeah. Get lunch sometime or something.
But like Bugman's is relatively in the middle. You guys have to see each other across the
see each other in the parking lot. Or maybe it's like what's that Apple TV show?
Severance.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
severance. They have to leave one shift at a time so they can never talk to each other.
I think it's more like when you. I think it is severance, but it's the other way. It's internal. What I mean is like in the severance show, you're outside the building. You're you. You walk in. You become a
Hmm.
different person, right? You're not connected. I think the severing or the severance situation is when you go from one studio over to the other. Whoop.
Yeah. Yeah, where am I? What is this?
What is
What is
this?
Warhammer?
Right.
Yeah, we as Spartacus, we do taxes, we'll be fine.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Professor said with the super chat saying, "Is it fair to say there's a point where the game is so simple it begins to buckle? It feels 40K, especially so simple it needs additions to work." I mean, I can't speak to the 40K world. I don't know. I'm just not. I don't like current 40K. I haven't liked 40K for a while.
Haven't been there
Um,
since 8th, so I can't
yeah,
help either.
exactly. That was the last time I was on board, so I can't speak to that. But yes, I do think, Professor, there is actually a point where it does basically buckle because the problem is that like you you have to be able to discover something, right?
Yes. Yes.
One of Magic's greatest strengths is in the discoverability, right?
Mm.
When somebody hands you Nekasar the Mind Razor, like right up there, right? And
Right.
then you realize that suddenly a card like Howling Mine that makes your opponents and you all draw additional cards suddenly has like, whoa, that's a different card now because now it hurts my opponents for making them draw an extra card. They don't just get the extra card or whatever, right?
Yeah.
There's like a discoverability to like
Yeah.
neat.
And then
Um,
like, oh, this one makes red permanents do an additional 2 damage every time they do a damage. So now they're drawing cards and I'm doing 3 damage. Like,
right.
yeah, it's I was thinking of this very same analogy earlier today where Age of Sigmar I feel is at this point becomes standard where
Sure.
it gets figured out quickly. There's a
Yeah.
limited pool, nothing fancy, you know. We basically have to ban our way out of combos
Right.
or wait for the next horrific thing to ruin the game. And like Warhammer is Commander, like Fantasy Battle and Old World, where every card that's ever existed, and you can put them together however you want.
Yeah.
And there has to be something in between we could play. There has to be a modern or a legacy we could play with just like a slightly bigger pool that we could do interesting things in, but not quite the commitment of like every single thing has to be accounted for.
That's right. That's right. Cygnus, please do not challenge people to take a drink every time we mention MTG. I don't want anybody to die
No.
during this show. But I mean, like, if you look at a lot of successful games, they're like this, right? There is discoverability to them. And I do agree, Odd Minis, that GW is in a spot where because when you want to go super wide and make the game super new person friendly, then what you're ultimately trying to do, the best thing you can do there is have like a low floor and a high ceiling. You want to make it really easy to start the game and get playing, get all the basics, get the weird terms, get the sort of glossary of the game, if you will, into your head, right?
Yeah,
So you
here's your
understand the
pre-con.
primary loop and all of that. Right. And I feel they've done that very well with Spearhead. I think it's like one of the most successful
Perfect.
projects they've launched.
Perfect. Thanks, Sam, again.
Yeah,
Perfect.
in forever.
Nailed
Mm. It's almost perfect in what it does and how it plays, especially to new players. The problem is we've lowered the ceiling so far. And yes, I agree. A lot of people are people who play like 2, 3, 4 times a year. That's a lot of players. But I don't think like but I think we can stack a little bit on there, right? Like
Yeah.
that's fine. You can have a version for them, but just like give other like you can still have choices sitting on top of that. So
And a
okay.
further meta question: does it being the ceiling so low, does that increase your excitement to play more games?
Right.
If it was slightly more you and your army and a little more complicated, would that drive you to play the game more?
Yep. Yep. Okay. Kaz said we could take the WotC path and just stop giving a crap about making a good
Oh,
play environment. That's gone well. Well,
yeah.
they
Hey,
did like move up the
balance.
ban for Vivi at least, so I don't know. It's something, I guess. So it's still
Did
too
we finally
slow,
get
but
that?
yeah, they said they're going to move up the ban. Yeah, yeah. They
Oh
said basically
well.
he's getting banned and they're going to move it up off of the November date. I don't remember what they said they moved it
Hey,
to. So.
just because it was 85% of the pool at the last major, didn't win, did it? Just saying.
Got him.
Got him. Counter deck win, baby.
So, you know, like Kuhal says, it's good to note that some other war games do accomplish some of these things quite well. It's not like there's no blueprint at all and they have to invent stuff whole cloth, which I agree with, right? Like,
Yes.
I think
Almost every other
GW,
game.
yeah, like nailed the low floor in one of the best ways. Like, great starter set. There are a couple of games like that that I would also point to as having really, really good new player, new starter set experiences. Like, that does also exist. It's not like GW was alone in that in the wargaming space. Where we've lost it though is going up from there. And I think enhancements are a meaningful sign of that. All right. Okay. Oh, yeah, I moved it up by 2 weeks. Yeah, well, not as far as they should have then, but there you go.
We have the internet. It should have just been that day they decided.
Yeah, sure.
Like, what does 2 weeks
just do it.
Yeah, cowards.
Okay. Let's look at some good examples, and maybe you'll agree with these good examples, maybe not. Let me say, this is the list I've put together here is good examples by the current standard. So please do understand I am grading on a curve. Okay.
I'm gonna turn my books over on. They don't need to see this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't look at this, babies. Don't look at this. Okay. Okay. I don't know what's the AoS equivalent of the VV Cauldron, like the most OP combo.
Oh, Bloodletter bombs in first edition.
Yeah, I mean, throughout time, I can think of lots of them.
Mortal wounding on 2s.
What was that? What was that? The Stormcast one where you just teleported your liberators like into combat repeatedly and teleported them every round, all around like directly into whatever melee position you wanted in combat. Something like that. I don't remember what it was called now, but yeah, I mean, throughout history, there's been a lot. Right now,
there's been VVs throughout history.
Right now, the closest combo thing like that's the most overpowered is Pontifex Zenestra and the 3 cannons and her 3 personal cannons.
Hey, shooting still good.
Yeah. Well, especially when you can just teleport it anywhere you want, basically on the board every round. Yeah, that's also
of course, yeah,
pretty helpful.
We didn't learn from Raptors.
Yeah, we never do. Okay. So here's my examples. So first off, and I'll talk about why they're good examples on the next slide, but I thought we could kind of talk about them here. And by the way, I want other people in the chat, drop in what you think your good examples are. Like, what's actually good now? Okay, like something that is good. Okay. All right. So here's the ones that I picked out. Again, this is not meant to be an exclusive list. This is just meant to be like examples. Scurry Away, the Skaven one. If this unit's in combat, roll a dice. On a 3+, this unit can immediately use the retreat ability as if it were your movement phase. I like this. Skaven can retreat for free. They don't take damage, which is a weird thing to have to say in this game now, but that's fine. It exists. And like, even though it's on a 3+, you do get to use it any combat phase, so it's both yours and the enemy's, which is fun. Mm-hmm. And it basically gives your Skaven a fun 66% chance, whatever hero this is on, to just like leave. It also, because it happens before fighting, obviously it's valuable. It can stack in really interesting ways with some of the other combat abilities. So like, for example, Warpstone Charm down the bottom, you can like try to Warpstone Charm them. And if you don't get it off, you can try to leave, or you can try to like, you can put it on like one of your big Skaven guys. And they will still take the damage if they retreat, but like your Verminlord Deceiver, and if like you don't get his special ability off, right? Because his is on like a 4+, so you can roll at his first, and then if that doesn't work, you can be like, okay, well, I'm not going to kill you, bye, and then you can try to get out of here, right? So like it's very Skaven-y. It feels very in flavor of the army. It's a unique ability. It's fun. It's something out of sequence, that kind of thing, right? Okay. I got Loon touched in here as like just the example of the thing. There's 50 variants of this that all do the same thing, which is if this unit is not a wizard, it's wizard 1, otherwise +1 to cast. Right? And by the way, I would count all the ones that are like priest stuff like this too. Like if you're not a priest, become a priest. If you are a priest, +1 to chant or whatever. I think these are all perfectly acceptable enhancements because it's neat to take like your Frost Lord or whatever and make him a priest or whatever. Insert example here, right? So, okay. Mega Bossy from the Ironjawz book. If this unit charged this turn, for the rest of the turn, add 1 to charge rolls for friendly Ironjawz units while they're wholly within 18 of this unit. Very large bubble.
That's a nice bubble.
Yeah. And like
18's pretty sick.
it's pretty good, and it does what the army wants to do, right? Like it works well. The boss declares the law, gets a bonus to charge himself, goes in, and then all the other units that were around him are now like +2 to charge effectively. And it's Iron Jaws. Obviously, they follow ABCs, just like Beast Claw, always be charging, right? So there you go. Radiance of Dark Glory, just any hero phase, which I like a lot. You pick each damaged friendly unit wholly within 12 to be the targets. You roll a dice. On a 3-up, they heal 1, or 3 if they're a monster. Just a neat, big AoE heal firing off in both hero phases. I hate this because it costs points. Shouldn't cost points, as we talked about earlier. But, like, why did everybody take this? Because the other two in Slaves of Darkness are really garbage. They're really garbage.
It's just depressing. Like a big, giant, diverse army like Slaves to Darkness, you have 3. Like I know they've tried to just give everyone 3. It's just like, I'll never get off that point. 3 is not enough. Try harder. These are premium books. You're charging premium money. Give me more than 3.
Yep. So I just like this doesn't align with anything to do with S2D's battle plan, right? Like with the Skaven one, it fits the theme of their army. With the Iron Jaws one, it fits the theme of their army. With this, does Chaos have like some weird healing ability? Like, okay, I guess it's sure they're mutative energies or whatever they say in the flavor description. Okay, sure, why not? But like, but it's not taken because people really love it or because it's amazing. Like healing 1 is not the most incredible thing in the world, right?
No.
It was taken because the other 2 are garbo and do the equivalent of nothing. They're not worth writing down on your sheet. Right?
Yeah. What do you mean? Magical Scorn for Corn, subtract 1 from casting rolls for wizards that are within 12? That's sick. That's crazy.
So terrible. I hate stuff like that. I hate like short range enemy debuff to a specific type of unit. Who's writing this? Right? And we'll talk about like what makes things bad later on. Let's look at what some people mentioned here. Let's see. Okay. Silver Wand. Yep, that's like basically another version of Loon Touch. Same thing, right? Which is it's like helps you be a better caster. I'm kind of putting all those things into that space. Okay, let's see. I enjoy the Disciples of Tzeentch heroic trait that grants you a +3 casting bonus if you roll doubles. I love that one. What a great, flavorful, weird thing.
It's just fun. Remember fun?
Okay, Acorn of the Ages. Sure, make a forest. I mean, I don't want to talk about the kind of situation Sylvaneth find themselves in with their forests, but nonetheless, yes, I agree. Max C coming in with my true favorite they've printed thus far in all of AoS 4 with Head of the Unworthy, the once per game item that makes you immediately go to 8 glory points if the person who had the glory points dies. Right? Like you pick a hero, this guy says they're not worthy. I will be the champion. And then if that hero you picked dies, they immediately go to 8 points. I use this all the time. I've got a spare cast lord who's just like chilling, just waiting. He's in the wings, just like ready to ascend. So that one's good. Yes, I agree. Again, that was a soggy one, so whatever. I think the soggy rules did introduce some good options. Okay, let's see. And then I think that's probably some good examples. Okay.
I have exactly one from my Sorry book, and it's in the Heroes Only meme army.
Okay.
The Crowned in Butchery.
All right.
Add 20 to the unit's control score.
Oh, yeah.
While it's in combat. It's just like, I'm so big. Let's go.
I agree. That's right.
But again, you're running the meme army anyway. You might as well have fun.
That's right. So like my point here is that I think these like all of these have something in common. So let's talk about like what makes them good. In my mind, the best heroic traits and artifacts either A, enable a new strategy or optional power pair or playstyle, right?
Yep.
So like they because of what they do, they give you some fun, interesting ability that like you just wouldn't have had before, right? Like, oh, cool. I can now power pair these two things together to have like a new vector, a new play style, something like that, right? That's great. Sometimes it's too good. Occasionally they'll do this and just make one that's like way too good.
Yeah,
But no,
oopsie.
that's okay. I'd still rather I would much rather them err on the side of that happening every so often and then just wheel them back
Oh, of course.
than
Yeah.
print a bunch of soggy paste that nobody cares about, right? Just like bland
Just wastes of paper.
gruel. Yeah. Yes, the Stormcast one where you guarantee the caster prayer. Thank you, MacTac. That's a great one that came out of the soggy expansion. That
Great
was
one.
like instant because the regular Stormcast ones are like all pretty underwhelming. So people just start taking that one because it's not one of those. All right. B, they align well with an existing playstyle that the army wants to pursue for victory. The Ironjaws one is a great example of this, right? Where it's like, okay, you want to be charging. You need to get your folks into combat where they're effective. It's the only phase of the game you play in. You suck at movement. You suck in the hero phase. You suck at shooting. You suck in movement. You suck in every other thing. But charging and fighting, that's what you want to do. That's why you played that army, right?
Yeah. And like Sexy Bear here says it too. Like, what's crazy about Khorne is the amount of self-damage with no synergy for it. If all my things did self-damage and there was a reason to take self-damage, then that would be
right
an interesting synergy to build.
Right.
Instead of just nothing.
Yep. Yeah, and I think like sometimes they can kind of miss the mark, right? But I'd still rather them try for the more interesting ones. Like Lash of the Sire stands out to me as like, well, at least they were trying something. Like it failed, but you tried. Like try more stuff like that and just get it correct. Like you're on the right road. Keep going, right?
Yeah, and sometimes you write the bad one and it's bad then, and then something changes about the rules of the army, and then it accidentally becomes interesting. Just because it was interesting and creative. It wasn't just at +1 attack.
Right. Exactly. And then lastly is open up a completely new useful ability for your army that you might not otherwise have had, right? So become a wizard or priest, have access to or use a manifestation in some way, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Right.
The KO bottle is probably the best example of that. Of just like, we didn't have access to this, now we have the bottle. And so we get whatever we want. That's really
SOB
cool.
has one of those as well, right? Like you can pop one of those.
Yeah, the Misty Lantern or whatever it was.
Yep. So to me, that's like what's emblematic of the best heroic traits and artifacts is, and I guess I'm not saying it, but like there's a hidden one here. It's down at I mentioned this in the last paragraph, but like if it's just cool and fun, if it just does something unique and interesting that's often very in character for the army, like people will take it, right?
Yeah.
You meant like the Zinch one that was mentioned earlier, right? That's so in flavor for the army. It's so unique and so cool. I don't know how we don't build. The armies have themes, mechanics, stuff
All
going on. Right.
They're very thematic. They have a gimmick.
Yeah.
Mini gimmicks usually.
And it kills me that we often don't build on any of those mechanics, right? In the actual heroic traits and artifacts. Like the number of books where that army will have some weird set of new mechanics and then they just don't build on those at all is weird to me. Right?
Yeah, like is Khorne the anti-magic priest army? Not really.
Right. I mean,
it's supposed to be, but it's
not. Kind of, sort of.
Get rid of every way they get rid of spells and make Doc a more spell hate army than Khorne.
Right. So it's just strange. Like the best items work in a given play pattern, and the best books would ideally have multiple compelling items that work with those varied play patterns. Right. So like in the ideal world that we want to aim at, the one where we'd want to take multiple enhancements and hence sacrifice something for it, right? What you'd see is like, okay, this army can play like an Alpha Strike thing or a castle type play or a mobile, like play the board control circles and battle tactics strategy. Let's just say, Those are the 3 it has. Okay. Then ideally, what you would see is heroic traits and artifacts that lean into those 3. Maybe not, they don't need to hew exactly to it. I don't need it to match like this is the one for this, and this is the one for this, and this is the one for this. But, some of that, and then maybe a unique one, 2 in each that kind of speak to them, and then some kind of neat, unique one that could also be something new. That would be cool, right? I don't know, man. It doesn't seem that complicated to me.
And the secret thing that AoS runs into a lot is make those enhancements go off like a lot.
Yeah.
Not a once every Sunday, you're on the objective, but you have to be contesting. You can't control the objective. Otherwise it doesn't work. Like, you got to cut some of that stuff down.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the perfect segue. We might as well just jump straight here, right? So
Get in there.
Because we're gonna be here for a while, because this is the vast majority of stuff. Okay. What makes them bad, right? So let me timestamp this one because it's a worthwhile timestamp here.
Yeah.
Okay. What bad? Me bad? Okay. How about my dog came down to see me here? You want to get up in your chair?
I saw him sneak in a second ago. Lifted a little tail like a shark in the background.
Yep. Here, get up in your chair. Go ahead. Get up in your chair.
It's like they went so flavorful for Age of Sigmar 1 with the Goofy whose mustache is longer and make the cloppy noises with your hands to charge. They got like, they hate flavor, obviously. No, there's a more effective way we could do that.
Right. Everybody hit like for the dog. Look at how adorable that dog is. Look at her.
Obviously.
Okay. She's gonna sit there and stare at me because I'm not petting her. Okay. So, look, let's talk about. I should just put a timestamp in for the dog. Okay. All right. Let's tuck your tongue in. You look ridiculous. All right. Or don't. That's fine too. Okay. So what makes them bad? Number one, with a bullet, underwhelming abilities that are easily forgotten. Okay.
Yep.
This is the situation you were talking about earlier, right? Where it's like, a penalty to some specific unit type when you're within 12 inches and in their territory, or in this situation, or when you're contesting an objective you do not control, or whatever, right? Like, where it's how many caveats on this vaguely underwhelming ability. Okay. That's the worst. And by the way, I think this is the majority of items there.
Yes. There are too many hoops, and when you're reading them, you kind of glaze over and go like, well, when is that going to happen?
Right.
It's like when they give anything to bloodthirsters, that's like if you get the top of the mountain, you get all your blood tithe points, and now your demons go off with crit mortals. Does a bloodthirster live past turn 2? And what game is that?
Right.
He's one of those blood tithe points.
The thing about the underwhelming abilities that are easily forgotten and kind of like how this stuff works. Look, I understand, we mentioned all the old world stuff earlier. A lot of the old world items are just very straightforward mechanical bonuses. Okay?
Yeah.
Right?
+1 attack.
Sort of might, sort
charge.
of this, +1 to attack, +1 to strength, +1 to your wounds, +1 to toughness, whatever.
Flaming attack.
Yep. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. And a lot of those are not the most exciting thing, to be fair.
No.
Okay. But there are also others that do stuff like, you get this and frenzy, but then also you have this and hatred or whatever, right? So they kind of run a pretty wide spectrum. My issue is underwhelming abilities that are just like hoopy, where you got to go through these hoops and then you get something that you're like, okay, cool, I guess this thing happened. Or if I even remember it, it never feels good. Yes, the +1 to stat is boring. I don't necessarily, I'm not advocating for that. Like, I'm not advocating for 3 magic, artifacts that are just like +1 to strength, +1 to rend.
Because we had that in second edition. There was I think the Corn Book in second had 3 different +1 attack artifacts.
Right.
Who is that for?
Right.
Why did you write it 3 times?
Well, it was so good once. They were like playing the hits. Okay. But I would honestly take just a static bonus, like +1 to rend. So for example, the Iron Jaws, during deployment, you pick a weapon they have, you give it an extra rend. Okay. It's fine. I usually end up taking that because it's like the best thing on offer. If I had
Sure.
something cool that was actually like doing something neat, okay? Like when you when you charge, you can then like roll a dice, and on a 3-up, you get to like do some mortal wounds and move some number of inches as the mega boss just like plows through the unit or something like that. I would take that every time. Okay. But that option doesn't exist. So I take
Nope.
the boring but consistent thing. Underwhelming and easily forgotten and bad gets beat by boring and consistent.
Yes, at least this thing will do something.
Right. Yep. And so yeah, that's category number 1. All right, let's talk about category number 2. You've already mentioned these a couple times, SJ. I want to kind of let you go off on this one a little bit. I'll broadly put this under bad timing. Okay. Meaning, once per game, you maybe get a moderate bonus. Now, although they've done a little better about removing the dice roll on the once per game, but it still
that
comes
was
up.
outrageous.
They still have a few of them hiding out there. But once
Or
per
it's
game in
on a
general,
2-up,
so
it goes
bad.
off.
Yes.
And then once it goes off, then you do D3 damage. So you roll a 2 and then a 2, and you've done 1 damage. That was your once per game. That's awesome. Love that.
Yep. Usually where they're sticking around now, where they have the once per game roll a die to have an effect, is when it can affect multiple things.
Right.
Right. That's where they'll still use that. So if it could affect like 3 units or something, it'll be like, well, roll a 3-up and then that unit gets that. And it's like, okay, cool. This is for no one, by the way, psychographically. No one is happy about that ability.
No.
Not Timmy, not Johnny, not Spike. They all 3 hate an ability like this.
Yeah. Your once per game needs to be like once per game, no roll. In the combat phase, anytime in the combat phase, this hero can attack, and it could be for the second time.
Right. Yes.
Like, that is something like, I have to dodge this dude from blendering something, or maybe he gets to waste it on my chaff unit. But if he gets into combat with anything that I like, he's going to destroy it with his once per game. You can even have, he takes D3 mortal wounds because he's going nuts, but he just fights again.
Yep.
Go ahead. It needs to be that level of like, this is going to do something.
Professor says that the Coatl Familiar plus D6 to cast once per game. Yay. Yeah, like that's an interesting range of abilities, because Doc has a similar one as well, right? Where it's like you just get once per game, you get like D6 prayer points, right?
Yeah.
Where like the dice roll is the bonus. Whoa.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know what to think of stuff like that, honestly, because I just think it'd be all right. Let's take this one for example. Okay, let's take that. I'm gonna modify this on the Doc one, or maybe we just do the Coatl one. What if it was just once per game? Like, let's say in the once per game realm, right? And try to figure out how we would make that interesting, really interesting. What if it was just once per game? You can use it after you roll, like reaction. You rolled a casting roll for a spell. Effect, double your casting roll.
That sounds fun.
That sounds better.
Timmy had like a little heartbeat flutter for a second of double big numbers.
Yeah. I could cast this spell on. I cast this spell on a 22.
Yeah.
Go ahead and unbind. Like, that's fun, right? That's cool. It still relies on you rolling dice. Like, you had to roll good dice to get the double to be really worth it. Where you'd probably actually use it is when you rolled like a 6 or a 7. And you didn't want the spell to get unbound, so you double it to like a 12 or a 14 or something cool. That would be fun.
Where that once per game would be cracked, and I think Fonzie's kind of alluding to it, is like if you had a prayer roll that just doubled So now you're just straight into that second level ability of your
Yeah.
prayers. I
Yes.
could do that once per game. At turn 4, I've used all my points. Now I'm going to do a double points. Let's spin the wheel. Let's see if I get something.
Absolutely.
Because then you could still roll a 4, or like you could still roll a 2 and get a 4, and like you're just sitting there. That's what feels bad, but you're probably laughing about it. Like, oh my God, I can't believe that happened, that I blew my sweet double roll.
Yeah, I think why once per game, when any kind of like randomness like that is attached to it, feels so bad, is that it's whenever you have a once per game ability, whenever you see that, right?
Mm.
Ideally, that's in there to be powerful and skill testing,
Yes.
right?
And the balance is that you can only do it once.
Right.
If this was all the time, this would be out of control.
Yep. Yep.
But just once.
Yeah, we don't have blink effects. So we can't ephemerate the model and then do it again. And so, like the point being is the reason I say it's skill testing and that stuff is important and matters is because it is good to have skill testy things in the game, because then you can actually like win through displays of skill. You used your powerful ability that is hard to use at the right moment, right? Go back to the first Fast and the Furious, right? Like when you pop that NOS, it matters.
When you
Okay.
pop that NOS, I wasn't ready for a Fast and the Furious reference today.
I'm just saying, right? So like that's a once per race ability. And like that's a skill testy thing. But if that's true, if it's skill testy, then it can't also be random. Right?
Correct.
Because then it's serving nobody. So like if it's once per game, it should be a 1, materially meaningful effect. And 2, I'm on 3 here, whatever, you get what I'm saying. It's 2, there we go. Okay. It should be, assured, but you have to know when to use it.
Right.
Effectively, the randomness is being determined by the game state.
Yeah, the skill in the game state.
Yes, that you recognized and saw the line that this is the appropriate moment in the game to use this ability to pay the highest dividends. Right? So, yes, Kaz said, SJ, you got to live your life a quarter mile at a time. That's right. That's right. Okay. And so, yeah, like going back to that like double your cast or double your chant thing, right? The best way to frame that would just be once a game, reaction, you roll the dice, you decide to use this. That way you know what your roll was, and you know this is the moment where the spell because somebody could just use it, and that spell didn't actually need to go off, right? How many times have you seen somebody cast a spell and it really matters basically nothing in the game?
Right. Which is its own sin that we're not talking about today.
Sure. A lot of magic doesn't do much. Okay.
Yeah.
But that's okay, right? But some magic does a heck of a lot.
Yeah, because like you want 2 spells for sure to go off. You roll that first one and you have your double in hand, but you rolled a 10.
Right.
Okay, sick. I don't need to use it. He's probably not going to dispel that.
I'll risk it for the biscuit. He's probably not.
Yeah, and the second one, I rolled an 8. Okay, try a 16, pal.
Right. That's right. Mm-hmm. So, like, my point is coming up with these things, these ways to make even a once per game ability actually meaningful and fun is good. Right? Like, you can do it in a good way. But you have to do it with intentionality that understands what you're actually doing. And like the way they tend to do this is like, well, once per game, a bubble of +1 attacks. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
I remember my Blood Secretor too. Yeah.
Right. And like plenty of armies have, if you're a combat army, you probably have multiple bites at the apple of +1 attack. So that's a pretty underwhelming bonus, honestly. Right.
Yeah. And unless you're getting to the hilarious bucket size of dice. But you play bucket size dice games every once in a while. You don't live that lifestyle. Buckets of dice gets boring kind of quickly.
Like I said, in my old roll games, when I'm rolling my Tomb Kings, I got 6 bone dice, and those 6 dice are usually all I need. I like to keep it tight. That's right. So, all right, here's my next category of badness, SJ. What I'll call the copy paste. Okay? Where it clearly has nothing to do with the army. They just ran out of ideas and so just reprinted they just reprinted something that like has been used a million times, right?
Yeah.
Redeploy min 4. End of turn, do some mortal damage, or when you charge, do some mortal damage on the bad 2 up on a D3. And
yeah,
so
when you charge, a unit within 12 can +1 to charge. You know, most of those are everywhere.
Anytime I see those, I'm like, oh, you ran out of ideas, huh? Unless it's like, because even if it's a movie army, right? Like Skaven or something. Yeah. Where you theoretically want to be like redeploying and retreating and stuff like that a lot. Like it's kind of how the army's supposed to play. A redeploy min 4 is still a completely underwhelming ability. That's like just an ability written on the Verminlord Deceiver. That's where that belongs.
Yeah, that's a War Scroll ability.
Yes. Like if you're gonna do it on an artifact, it should be like when you redeploy, right? Every time you redeploy, you can like roll a dice on a 4 up, you get to redeploy a second unit, or 3 up, you get to redeploy a second unit, or something like that. Okay, now we're cooking. Now we're doing something here.
Yeah, and let it cascade for maximum fun.
Yes. It gets one harder, but you can keep redeploying. Okay.
Yeah.
Now this is pod racing. All right. Okay. Let's see. I don't know who to believe. Professor says 40K is especially bad for that, and KR says not true on 40K. All right. I don't know.
Oh, well.
I'm not familiar enough. We got some contestation as to the truth of that. Tori said, I trust with SJ on here. I missed a Riffs reference earlier in the show. I don't know that we've referenced Riffs yet. Yeah.
No Riffs.
Not yet.
And I'm not a Riffs guy, so.
I mean, look, Riffs is a good example of how to do design that is top down very correctly. Like they don't ever, you look at abilities in any given OCC and it's like, no, they had an idea here.
What's your guess on how many Riffs books there are?
Well, there are, what are we up to? 33 world books, right? And then you've got your, because it's like the different lines. You got your world books, your dimension books, right? All of those. That's where you get like Phase World and all of that stuff. Then you got the adjacent like Scrapers books, stuff like that for the superheroes in Rift space. You got all the 3 galaxies, Anvil Galaxy stuff. I don't know, a lot, probably 50 or something. 55.
But what you were saying with intentionality, 100 Rift books or whatever we have now, every one of them is 0 margin, 0 space. Ted Kaczynski's like manifesto. Yes. Every single thing was thought of from the ground up to fit perfectly in this world.
Yep.
I'm not looking for that.
Right. We don't need that level of exhausting retail.
And we don't even need the old world. We could just be closer. We could be just a little bit. No copy paste. I want, somebody should put on the whiteboard they have in the design studio. No artifact or enhancement can be like it. We're going to have the reserve list on every enhancement. Nothing can be like another one in another army.
Right.
Purely fresh on everything.
Everything's legendary. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Tori says, also mission accomplished. I caused a small Rifts tangent that this is full of flavor. Yes, absolutely.
Not hard to make us tangent.
Oh, I'll talk about Rifts anytime, any place, anywhere. At any rate, yes. I mean, like and yes, David, Palladium Rifts, you got it. The important part about that is it's not boring. Okay. That's the take home. All right. My last category of bad is, and this is truly the most egregious ones. Okay. It's an effect the army doesn't want. Right. Yep. So like it is the combat buff for an army without any real combat heroes. Like you got a bunch of foot utility heroes as the majority of your army, and you're throwing out magic items that are like +2 attacks. It's like, oh, who is this for?
A gets combat buff.
Right. Exactly. So like, you know, yes. James says we don't need Rollmaster complication, nor do we need GURPS simplicity.
Oh man, GURPS reference. We're getting it all in today, baby.
Absolutely.
Steve Jackson's rolling in his grave.
You know, James, I'm not even sure Rollmaster is actually that complicated anymore. Like, if you look at the how big that book was, it's pretty thin compared to modern RPG books. I don't know. It was complicated. It seemed complicated because you're often rolling on a lot of tables, I guess. All right.
Yeah, a melee weapon for a Zinch. Yeah.
Correct.
Who's swinging with a Zinch hero?
Yep. Exactly. Exactly. Here I have an example of one of the most egregious I've read in a long time that fits into multiples of these categories somehow. Okay.
The perfect bad.
This is from Nighthaunt. This is almost perfect in how stupid it is. I read this wrong when we did the show review and thought it actually might be okay because I didn't understand what it actually did. So, reaction. You declared the redeploy command for a friendly Nighthaunt unit wholly within 12 of this unit. Okay. So, to recap, we're already in category 1 of badness here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where it's an underwhelming ability that's easily forgotten. So I have to have the hero here, and I have to have redeployed somebody wholly within 12 of that hero. So I need to be in that very specific situation.
When you hit the 2 lines on the top, you failed. Stop. Right. Stop there. Try again.
Okay. Now, next, what do I get for this? Right?
All the hoops.
For the rest of the turn, I get to subtract 1 from hit rolls for attacks that target this unit, not the unit that redeployed, the one that you're obviously redeploying. So you're trying to make, like, what is the most common reason you redeploy?
To screw somebody's charge or to take an objective.
Somebody's charge. That's right. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That's like the single most common reason, right? Now there's others. Sometimes you have a very aggressive army. So you're trying to move a unit forward to get them back into position, yada, yada, yada. Like, I understand. I'm just saying plurality, majority, whatever reason is somebody moves up. They're like 3, 4, 5, 6 inches away. And you're like, ha, I shall redeploy. And you walk back away from them and you're hoping for that big 6 to screw their charge over, right? That's what you're doing the majority of the time. So the unit that is retreating, or not really retreating, but you know what I'm saying, moving backwards.
Redeployed.
Yes. Does not get anything.
No.
This random hero, who hopefully was not involved in this fire, in any kind of fighting, and is certainly getting guarded hero, by the way, right?
Yeah.
Because they had to. They're wholly within 12 inches of some other unit. Now gets a -1 to hit. That hero gets a -1 to be hit. Sir, not involved in this conversation. Like, what are you talking about? This guy wasn't fighting this round. They weren't even coming close to this dude.
Yeah, I'm playing Iron Jaws. They have no range. Who cares?
Right. 1, he was probably invisible to most shooting already. 2, he was at minimum -1 already from the shooting, so giving him another -1 does literal nothing. Because who's going to all-out attack anymore? Like, what? That doesn't happen.
Hey, well, one day they'll figure out how they actually want Nighthaunt to play.
Sure.
I still haven't quite figured it out. Remember when there was like, you got bonuses if you 9+ charged?
Sure.
Okay. It was cool when I did it 3 times in a row with my black coach that one time, though. Did love that.
Oh, absolutely. The armies they have the most problem with are the armies of these guys all need to act a certain way because of what they are. So what I mean by that is, like, for the ghost army, well, they're all ghosts, right? So that's a problem because, like, in reality, an army of ghosts acting like ghosts, right?
Would be, yeah, I saw Lord of the Rings. Yeah, it
right, would be very
well.
powerful, right? Yeah. When you call them forth to fulfill their oath, they kill a lot of orcs. Those ghosts cleaned out the Pelennor Fields in Minas Tirith pretty fast.
Seconds.
Yes. Right. Yes, Strength Hammer. He's the hero you leave to take the charge as a sacrifice. The unit tosses him the neg one as thanks. Yeah, exactly.
They high five him on the way by. Or it's like in Chernobyl where they're patting the guy and they're putting all the coal marks on him.
Yes.
There you go. Here's your neg one, pal.
Yep.
It's all they have problems with the armies that were fighting the Stormcast in the starter set.
Sure.
That's the armies they have problems with.
This
all
is
three
true.
of them so far.
Yeah.
Skaven they've already had figured out for a while.
Well, once they reduced all the points by like 20 to 40%, they got to a decent enough place.
Sure.
The army's doing like not terrible. It's not great, but it's okay. We're in the 40s, but we're above 45, so there you go. Like the hey, I agree, KR. It's timelines. That's what it is. It's 100% timelines. It's because you got to design to the timeline, right? Yep. They don't have the time to properly do the work they need. So I don't honestly blame the designers as much. It is really the case that like they're working under the gun and they don't have choice.
It's under the gun, but you have to have somebody with some creative direction. It can't be so fast that we can't write 3 artifacts.
Right.
Surely we can have 3 in a book.
Yep. And so like this one is like so terrible. I just don't even know what to do with it. And by the way, I was really trying to decide like what was the terrible one to pick because there were so many candidates. Like
lots of candidates, but most of them are just boring bad, not like hilariously bad like this.
This one is such a wonderful combination of stupid and bad that I really did. It's what made it win in the end.
Yeah.
Yes.
I remember there was a 3rd edition Nurgle one that was like once per battle on a 2-up, you do D6, like just the absolute amalgamation of everything wrong with a AoS rule.
Yes.
I like gambling. I don't like gambling that much.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, like, when I say they struggle, by the way, Gellerman, like with things like Night Haunt, I don't mean they're always on the struggle bus. Like Night Haunt has been very swingy, either being like extremely strong, like it was with the index at the beginning, or being very weak, like it was through a lot of like 3rd, and now kind of falling back down probably pretty quickly with the new book. My point is like Sons of Behemoth's another good example of this, where like, well, they need to be a certain way because of like what they are. Okay, like because they are something fundamentally, they as an army are like fundamentally different than all the other armies, right? Which are just mostly like dudes walking around in some kind of armor, punching and shooting each other. Once you're not that, right? Like maybe you're a slightly shorter person or a slightly bigger person, you know, that's like goblins to ogres, but they're all still just basically dudes in some amount of armor walking around punching and shooting each other. Once you're not that, if you're something like materially different, like you're an army of all ghosts or an army of like 4 giants that are super giant.
Or an army of flying boats.
Right, or an army of flying boats. Yes, exactly.
These are the armies that accidentally break the game briefly.
Yes.
Like Sons of Behemoth literally like set the scale for 3rd edition of like, if you can't beat Sons, you're a bad army.
Right. So like I agree with that one for sure, Lodovicus. That they struggle with stupid too. Destruction always seems to get messed up because they're dumb. Yeah, I mean, Halo and I go back and watch it. Halo and I literally did a whole show on
it's a good show.
Like on why do they not understand destruction as a Grand Alliance. Lichfinder General said the Nurgle one was amazing. Once per battle, roll 2d6.
Yes.
If you roll a 7, the closest enemy model with disease points is slain.
Let's go.
Insane writing. Insane.
Absolute. Like you need to wear a green visor if you're going to play that because you are just a degenerate gambler if you're running that thing.
Was that like a Nurgle nail version? Because I know like I know Nurgle's nail was often the thing that like slayed you or whatever. So okay. All right. So this brings us to the question. How do we make it better? Right? Okay. Arrested at the Waffle said bring back 2.0 realm artifacts. There's option number 1. Let me just say,
Sword of Japan, baby, bring it back.
Yeah. Like, look, option number one here to make it better. I'm not even sure if I really have it on this list. This is more like strategy, but this is more this would be tactical. What I have on the list here, strategies. But like, look, how do you win a hockey game? I mean, there are many strategies, but ultimately it usually comes down to who has more shots on goal, right? Like,
Yeah. Who has more possession, who has more shots on goal, that usually probably won the game. Yeah.
Right. And so like, just take more shots on goal. I think, they scaled back to 3 because they were like, well, we keep writing a 6 and, a lot of people don't take 4 of them. They take just 2 of them. Like if I assume their thought was if we restrict it back to 3, we can make the choices more even. Well, okay, that didn't work. So maybe we go the other direction. Let's write like 9. All right, let's just fill a page. Okay.
Let's write 46.
Right.
Surely one of them will be good.
Yeah. I mean,
because it really boils down to one word with a lot of these. And I feel mean to say it. I don't want to pick on these guys. This could just be a management problem pushing it down. Effort. These don't feel like there was any effort. And if we're going to charge premium prices for rules that are tested and have effort, I want to see it.
Sure.
I want to see the effort. Because, man, this Pathfinder book that costs about the same under me, there's a lot of stuff in there.
Yep.
And a lot of effort. Wayne Reynolds drew a lot of things for it.
Oh, he's chained in the basement all night just drawing goblins and elves and warforged and stuff. Yeah, for sure. The cause says shots on goal is the single most predictive statistic in sports. It predicts the winner something absurd like 87% of the time. Wow, I didn't realize it was. I knew it was high. I didn't know it was that high. That's crazy. And Arrested at Wallflower says, I'd rather them poop out 40 artifacts than scale back the wild stuff than just 3 bad, boring ones. Yes.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
Give me 2 or 3 less pages of random lore. I don't care about. You could save. I promise. Maybe I'd read it one day, or 2+ Tough can read it to me while I try to go to sleep. But give me 2 pages of just artifacts. Try it. Take an afternoon and just write a bunch of shit down for a book. Why not?
Why not? Right? Exactly. Shots on goal. Let's go. Okay. Like I think we would all prefer that. If you just open the tome. By the way, you can't tell me there's not 2 to 4 pages we can't cut out of the tome. I'll find them. Yeah. I guarantee we can. Okay.
Yeah, cut some of them 2-page spreads out of there.
Right. I don't need that much information on each individual unit. You know what I mean? Like you flip through, you got like the lore section, then you got like here's every single unit and like huge write-ups on each unit. We can shrink those down.
Or like there's a page just for blood letters in the Khorne book. Half of the page is the blood letter war scroll. That's a full half with the little model at the bottom. Sure. And then the other half is just some story about a guy.
Yes.
I don't need that.
Exactly. Like there's room. We can find it. I promise.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, shoot, this let's see. This giant thing with 46 is 128 pages.
Okay.
How much? Let's see. How big is how big it is?
I don't have a Warhammer tome right next to me, so I can't.
So look. Like my Khorne legitimate book that's not on my.
Of course, completely legitimate.
This has 105 pages, so there's probably a little bit more past that, I'm sure. It's the same size book.
Yep.
3 artifacts, 46 artifacts.
Yeah. Look,
and they're not all good, I promise.
Look, Hades, I'm not saying cut the lore. I didn't say that. I said we can find 2 to 4 pages. That could be cutting a little bit of
has a
page
ton of
art,
lore in it.
Some of the war scroll stuff. Like my point is the individual unit lore where it runs really long, right? Like where like it'll be like clan rats, and then you'll have like 3 columns of text on like who clan rats are. Okay. CJ says the new Soulblight book is 122 pages. My point is you could tighten that kind of stuff up. I actually love
41 pages of lore. 41 pages of lore.
I like the general lore that's talking about the army, introducing character stuff and stuff, not just like the 2 pages on this is what a Flamer of Tzeentch is. That's what I'm saying to cut down.
Yeah.
Or like like you were talking about, the pages where it's like, here's one thin war scroll and then just some art or something. Like we can do some different layout tricks. We can find the 2 pages without at all meaningfully reducing the lore. I do not
No.
want to get rid of the lore. It's important. It matters. Okay.
Yeah. Because once they got back to the war scrolls back in the day, they were very tight, cut and dry.
Yeah.
Like here they are, bang. There is no lore on these pages. The lore is look how cool this axe art is. That is as much as you get. But in the 41 before that, these are full page lore of all this stuff, maps and cool John Blanche art. You have plenty of room for that.
Yep.
120 pages is fine.
Exactly. We can get there. I'm not saying, by the way, I didn't say Hades that we cut him completely. I said we cut him down. I don't need 2 full pages explaining clan rats. I need a couple paragraphs. We can tell a fun clan rat story in a couple paragraphs. All right. Sorry, this letter is so short. I didn't have time to make it long. Like, which speech does everyone remember? That's from the remembrance of Gettysburg. Was it the 3-hour speech or was it Lincoln's Gettysburg Address that was like 8 minutes? I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah, the story of Lysandra killing somebody for 5 paragraphs. Put that in a White Dwarf. That's where these stories belong.
But either way, I don't care. Add 4 more pages to the book. That's fine too. We can do that.
Also,
my point is, we can find the space. Books. Yeah, we can find the space. All right. Other strategies we should employ to make this better. Number 1, items should be interesting above all else. Okay. An item that does something fun and unusual is far better than something boring, even if slightly weaker. That's just it right there. Right. That's number 1 thing you should be asking after you write the thing. If you're like, did I write something boring? If yes, start over.
It says -1 to cast for a priest within 12. Is that cool? It's not really that cool. All right, let's try again.
Just think to yourself, is anyone going to actually be excited to put this on an army list? If the answer is no, you went wrong.
And you can have some of these little incremental -1 to cast stuff when you have a plethora of items, because maybe that fits in with something else. Like you just make the wizard hate army with a bunch of different enhancements.
Yep. Okay, number 2. Items should be aligned to the army playstyles and units. It should advance a strategy that exists or open up a new one. Make them in flavor and in function with the army. Especially that army's unique mechanics. By the way, this does not mean throw good money after bad, which is what I'm going to talk about later, or I'm going to mention later on. Like, that's not I didn't mention it on the bad page, but one of my most hated things, SJ, is when they have a bad army mechanic. So like the moon new gets, and then they're like, but don't worry, here's like a war scroll and a heroic trait and an artifact and a spell that you can back in. And if you take the whole package, the moon is now average. I'm not saying
is now good money after not bad. Terrible.
Right.
Yeah. And like number 2, the way to like align this into a short sentence, make them important. Make them important to the army. Not necessary. You don't want to make that one item. It's like, well, you got to take that or the army kind of breaks.
Yep.
Make them important. That guy has that sword. He's going to be scary. I better watch out for him.
That's right. Yep. Number 3, avoid once per battle unless the effect is very meaningful and it's a real skill test to turn the game and use it at the right time. We gave 2 good examples of that earlier. Like,
I would say for GW, you're suspended from once per game.
Yeah.
Go a whole edition without once per game because you haven't earned it.
Yeah. This is like your cell phone in school. You can't control yourself. Stop it. No. You just got to take it away.
Yeah, we just read that Nurgle one again. I'm mad about a book that's not even in the rules right now.
That was like 3 books ago. I'm still mad about it. Yes, agreed. Number 4, and this speaks to what you talked about, avoid auto takes, where no matter what your strategy is, it's simply the right choice. Like, that's also boring. You could be boring in a bad way, right?
Sure.
where it's just like, oh, this is so clearly the best thing ever. I'm just going to take this all the time. Like, and that shouldn't be that hard to avoid. But if it happened, I'd still rather this happen once in a while, and then we just simply back it out by
Yeah,
fixing it
and
somehow.
you pluck, if you have 40, you pluck that one that's a problem. With 39 other options, we're still cool.
Easy money. Easy money.
Because
Absolutely.
I don't want to embarrass anybody, but if you and I and Haywo and CJ and Frank sat in a room and you put a 2-hour timer on, we could pick an army out of a hat and write 40 artifacts for it.
100%. Yes. Yes.
They don't
For
got
sure.
2 hours.
And like, let's say half of those are crap and we throw them in the trash.
Sure.
We've still 7x'd the number of magic items they're writing.
Surely we can hit 3.
Yes.
Surely. Surely we can hit 3 of them.
Absolutely. Number 5, my final point. Please stop with the points. Stop it.
No, that's for this game.
Yeah, that's exactly.
We built the game around this. Age of Sigmar is a different game. We have free spells, we have free points, we have free it's less granular. And we want to keep it that way to a point. No points.
No points. Exactly. We have just like a capes rule.
Yeah.
I didn't want to leave this. I had one more small point. We talked, like, most of this is focused on heroic traits and artifacts because I do find that the most egregious section, because your army always has those theoretically. Okay. But I did want to, I wanted to touch on just a couple of other things here. So other items. First off, more books should have new categories of enhancements. We mentioned it early, right? But open additional or underused sections, make very obvious playstyles are naturally weak more playable, help foot heroes, help monsters, do cool things with bad units. Like we talked about tasty mushrooms or poisons for cruel boys, the unique banners. For S2D, which, by the way, there's nothing that special about banners and Slaves to Darkness that made that obvious. It's not like S2D is the banner army.
No, every army should have access to 2 or 3 banners. Why not? We used to. We used to in every book.
All that is they were writing the S2D book and somebody who was working on it had a fun idea and they put it in. And all I'm asking is for you to have similar fun ideas with all the books, even the ones that you don't care about as much or play or whatever.
Is there somewhere in this process where someone is killing the fun? Because surely they cannot swing and miss this many times.
Right.
Like, there has to be something systemic with the way they write rules or the way the editor likes to put his books together or something. There has to be something in the machine that is causing us to always get a little less and a little worse each book.
It is mystifying, right? Yeah, I don't know. I do.
We haven't had a good edition yet
for this,
in my opinion. For this, yeah. We've had good editions. Second and third I love those. Those were great. But we've never had like, oh yeah, this set of artifacts, knock it out of the park. And I don't even have to think of twice when I play Old World Fantasy, because I know there's going to be an unlimited amount of options for me to take. They're going to be rad and do something crazy.
Yep. I agree. My next point here is the soggy rules did a great job of expanding options, as generally most armies now have like 6 choices in some category. Do more of that. Like, clearly the answer here was more options. We've said it 100 times. Soggy rules gave us a test, like a little bit of a taste of that. I want more. That's it.
Or they're never going to be more. That was it.
That was it. That was the one time. And then some way of opening up additional options or selections to go a long way to make list building more interesting. Again, once you get them good, then you need to also get the way to take more of them or something like that. We talked about a couple of those strategies.
Yeah, what do we do? Like the 4th edition's rule set with 3rd edition list building and 1st edition's rules, like army flavor and rules.
We can Frankenstein this together. Absolutely. Okay.
All there.
My last one here is just a quick note on spells. Spells are an enhancement as well. We didn't talk about them.
Yes, they're their own thing, but they are technically an enhancement. They're an ability you get, and you get to pick those. Yes.
So I just wanted to have a quick rant on spells here. too many spells are bad and are too rarely cast. They just aren't even worth trying for because they're too specific, too random, or too hard to get value from. I don't know what our philosophy is on Magic, but this is probably a whole show on its own.
Oh
This is more just
yeah.
setting that up. Like, I'm really not doing it justice on this slide, but I just wanted to kind of throw it out there. Like, here's some simple rules. Unlimited spells shouldn't target enemies. That's a nice rule to live by. It's a guideline.
Yeah. Just have them be buffs.
Yeah. Like an unlimited spell that is a 12-inch enemy targeting spell. What's the matter with you? What's the matter with you?
Are you stupid or something? What's the matter with you?
Like, what? In what circumstance? In what universe? Right? It's mind-boggling to me. Yeah, they should just be buffs. Okay? What are we doing here? Number 2, silver bullets are fine, but they need to be impactful. Like, I don't mind a silver bullet. A good example of silver bullets are like horde breaker spells, right? Like, that's fine. I don't mind when a spell list has a horde breaker in it. It's useful, right? As long as it's not like a Garbo one. Okay.
Yeah.
CJ, yeah, there isn't a single spell in the game half as cool as the lamest rift spells, and that is nonsense, boy.
Oh,
yes.
The lamest rift spells like reverse all time and space back to the Big Bang on a 4-up. Yeah.
Yes. Teleport somebody 1,000 miles. We throw them down to the vampire middle of Mexico City to the top of the building. Go watch Halo and CJ's stream we did there if you want to see that in action. At any rate, okay. In general, the simple rule should be 1 buff, 1 attack, and 1 floater that's more specific to the army playstyle. That's it. The buff should be unlimited. The attack should be like sitting in the silver bullety thing, and then a floater that depends on what the army's trying to do, right? So could be an attack, could be a second buff, could be pure utility, could be a teleport.
Yeah, could be yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Haha.
Got me.
But yeah, exactly. Right? Like, it's not hard. This is, if you're only gonna have 3, then that's the 3. Again, this would probably go better if you had more, but whatever. Okay. And then don't make a spell that feels required to be used to cover an army's bad rules. This just, again, stacks on the same thing I talked about earlier. The moon sucks. It's dumb. Why am I needing to now take a spell to make my bad mechanic try to be decent by rolling up to the slot machine again? And that spell, that unlimited spell in Gits, if I was doing the like worst spells, that would be there instantly. It's horrendous.
Oh, like blood drenched is questionable as a rule in general, and so my unlimited prayer is you just get the best of blood drenched. Like, that's such a band-aid.
Yeah,
for like you're never gonna even sniff activating this whole thing before your army's gone. So hey, you might as well get like a piece of it.
Sure. So, like, spells are probably their whole own show, but the reality is a lot of the things I've talked about for the heroic traits and artifacts just apply here too, right? It's a lot of the same rules. So, yeah, there you go. That's my thoughts. All right, SJ, what I miss? What else?
What's interesting when it comes to because we did the heroic traits number versus number, game over game, but spells, it's almost identical.
Sure.
Fantasy Lores had 6 spells. You picked however many your power level was, and if you would used to roll these back in WW when we wore onions on our belt. You used to have to roll for your spells. You didn't even get to pick them. The only one you could pick is you dropped one and you took the main one.
Yeah, their equivalent of unlimited.
Yeah, their equivalent of unlimited was like, well, I could take the base level spell that's still good. It's still good. Still does a thing. But, I can reduce some of the randomness by taking this okay spell.
Right.
But all the spells did something. All the spells were kind of cool and kind of, towards as the game slowly died, were too good.
Yes.
They went down the wrong side where all the spells are broken. When the whole game is hordes and you make every spell lore have an awesome horde breaker.
Right.
I obviously, since this is my second show I've done on the topic. I could talk about how we're screwing this up forever. But how do we stop the cycle? When does the cycle stop?
I don't know. I don't know. I think for now, I would be honestly with spells, I would be pretty happy if we did stick to more simplified things. Like with, it's kind of a weird thing to say, but I think with heroic traits and artifacts, I do want like a lot, and I want them to be kind of crazy in what they're doing or meaningful and impactful. I think spells, because they're already always tied to a random activation and naturally interactive, right? Like that is to say, you always are rolling dice to cast, and then people can unbind, and there's like range considerations and all of that sort of thing. They're already so limited in so many ways. What I'd love to see is spells honestly just like stick to the basics in some way. Like to me, the spells that are just like you give +1 attack, you get +1 rend, you teleport a unit, you move a unit 6 inches, like stuff like that is honestly just like, or, you know, enemy unit is -1 attack, enemy unit is -1 to hit, -1 to wound, you know, these kinds of things. Yeah.
Hey, when they did it in, you know, what was it, second, when they introduced Arcane Bolt and Mystic Shield?
Yeah.
Everyone was casting Mystic Shield all of a sudden.
Right.
It was the spell you cast. That utility is nice when you have to gamble for it.
Right. I think like that's, to me, is fine if spells are like, you know, sort of the more mechanical expression of stuff. I don't mind if you go off into like the creative land every so often, but a lot of times what they end up doing with when they go into that creative stuff, because they're worried about sort of the top end of what magic looks like, is that they just end up getting really wonky and nonsense and just like roll
And
7
hoops.
dice and then do this, and if you have, find whatever you have the most same dice of, and it's like, oh my god, stop. This is not, this system is
Make it
not,
stop.
you know, just like, okay.
It turns into the Vita Lego test. You're just screaming at the screen, please stop. I don't want
Yes.
this. Please, I don't like this anymore.
Exactly. And so like, you know, I just like would be happy if spells were just reliable and straightforward. Like they're army wizards, they're battle wizards, they bring battle buffs and battle effects, and it's like, yep, that's fine. I'm not
and
asking
keep
for
the
them to like
flavor
make
on the
houses
War
and stuff.
Scrolls.
Yes.
Here's my cool spell that this wizard knows.
Yes. Make the really cool, unique, interesting, unusual, funnily acting spells live on the specific War Scrolls. Agreed. Yep. This is wisdom.
Then it makes you have to decide and make choices.
Right.
Crazy. Remember when we list builded for fun? That was part of the hobby, was just sitting and dreaming of lists. I haven't done that for this edition in months.
Pepperidge Farm remembers. Yeah, indeed.
Yeah. I used to have a little spiral back in 2006 where I would just write dwarf armies over and over again. Oh, here's Master Rune this, Master Rune that instead. Oh, I'll take Iron Breakers. And like,
sure. You know,
armies I would have never played.
You know, you've got a good list, like, you know, you got a good building thing when you're sitting there in the spiral notebooks, just building it out of your head all the time. 100%. I used to do that with like Shadowrun, with like cybernetics, like my sort of, you know, kind of street samurai, where I would just be like idly building them in my notebook. Like I spend $100,000 on, or $300,000 on Wired Reflexes 3 and whatever. And this is the essence cost. Or same with like BattleTech, building mechs. Be like, okay, let's see, I got 75 tons. All right, so we're gonna need this much. We're gonna use some endo steel frame, you know, this kind of thing, right? The point is that these are great lists. These are like the all timers of amazing list building. We're a long way off of that right now.
We're not even the same zip code anymore.
Right.
Yeah, like you said, if you know the points cost of things offhand, like you don't even have to open the book anymore. You just kind of flip around and build it out of your head. That means it's effective. It sticks with you.
Right.
I don't think I would survive a Russian roulette game of guess corn points right now.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I hope GW listens to this, and I hope that you take some notes. We feel for you. We understand you're under time pressures. We don't want that to happen. But we hope you take some of these rules or guidelines and think about them for future books. That'll be really unfortunate for every book that's come out, but honestly, I'm okay with it. Or maybe think about it for like Soggy Part 2. Let's go to other realms. let's get the rules for 7 other realms, and
Yeah.
and go
Let's
that
play
direction.
with it there, and then when you're ready to do the second round of army books, then you've learned some things.
That's right. That's right.
But for right now, more is better, and you're banned from once per game.
That's correct. I think that is, if you take home anything from this, GW designers who are listening to this podcast, number 1, more is better. Number 2,
More is better.
no more once per game. No,
Yeah,
no,
see
no.
me after class. No
Yeah,
more.
that's correct. I do agree. We need more on Shimon. The metal plane. That plane
Have we even
rules.
seen it?
I mean, they talk about it in the KO books, but we've never gotten any kind of like real special rules other than that when we had the 2nd edition artifact list.
We're in Gyrand, and we're fighting in the flames, and that's like we stick to those two.
Yeah, it's always Akshi
Just
and
go back and
Ghyran.
forth.
Yeah. Yep. All right, SJ.
Apply
hey.
yourself. Yes.
Yes. Thank you so much for being here, brother. I really appreciate it.
Hey, anytime.
Right on. For all of you out there, thank you to everybody who super chatted. Thank you to everybody who chatted generally, who left some comments, who engaged in the discussion. It is really appreciated. It's awesome. If you want to help out the show, you can do all the fun things that make dings. You can click like, you can click subscribe. It's so easy. It costs you nothing. Just do it right now. Lean over. I understand. Maybe you're painting. Maybe you're doing something else. Maybe you're watching this on your phone. I don't know. Hit that little button. I know it's small. You can do it. If you want to support the show even more with your dollary dues, well, there's ways you can do that too. There's things down there, like where you can pick up your hobby supplies with the affiliate links. There's the merch store. There's Patreon. All those things. And then, of course, don't forget to check out other podcasts. Fireball the Gazebo, my RPG podcast with Ninjon, has a new episode out this week. And next week, the Snarlcast episode that comes out, my indie wargame RPG with Uncle Adam, we're going to actually go into a little bit of detail on the fall game, on the fall mini game in the zine. And what I'll say here, since you stayed till the end, is I'll tell you that the game is called Chrome Rangers. And if you like the idea of maybe like giant mechs fighting, maybe like one-on-one mechs fighting in a sort of anime-inspired fighting style set in an Old West thematic setting or Wild West setting, then maybe you should check out and listen to the episode, because that's the game that we're going to be releasing in the fall, in November. Yes.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Exactly. So if you like the idea of a 20-meter tall RoboCop who has like a gun in his leg and draws it out, like in a giant robot that maybe wears a cowboy hat and shoots down the bad guy, hey, I'm just saying, check it out. So we'll talk about it a little more on Snarlcast. They're coming this Monday. Go sub up, hear all about it, and stay tuned for more information on Chrome Rangers. Thank you for sticking out till the end for that little spoiler. I appreciate it. Y'all are the heroes.
I bet that rule set has more than 3 artifacts in it.
It has more than 3 choices. I'll say that. That's for sure. Not a lot of magic items in the giant mech tech game, but
sure.
Yes. But there is certainly more than 3 weapon choices. Oh yes. Oh yes. Absolutely. Sporadicus says Tequila Gundam. Let's go. Yeah, it's not totally wrong. All right. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this. We really do appreciate it. Don't forget to hit those buttons on the way out. But as always, we'll see you next Wednesday. And don't forget, start rolling dice.